Well, guys, if you've been paying any attention at all to what's actually going on, what's actually being done, it's easy to see that the Trump administration is putting in a police state here in the United States. It's right in your face, obvious. They're putting in a police state, massive spy grid infrastructure to take away any resemblance of privacy, of freedom. I mean, they're putting it in right now, full force, as fast as they possibly can. People will still try to deny it. They will come up with all kinds of excuses. But in my opinion, and it isn't just my opinion, it's right here in our face, Donald Trump doesn't care anything about privacy, doesn't care anything about the Constitution, and none of them does. The Democrats don't, never did. Republicans never did. But they've put Donald Trump in office to put all this stuff in place. And this is all part of the Agenda 2030 Great Reset. Complete full control grid through AI and technology. Let's get into it and talk about it. Trump agency hypes importance of real ID enforcement, citing one key reason. And we know that they're pushing this real ID. This has been a thing for years now, but they haven't went in. They've had it ready. They've had it ready to go. They've talked about it. People pushed back against it. But when Donald Trump gets in office, he pushes it through, and people don't really push back against it. Not like they would if it was a Democrat, because they think that we have Donald Trump in office now. He cares about the Constitution. He cares about us. And this is being put in place for our protection, of course. It's to save a child, to save a whale, or whatever. That's what they always do. They always make it act like, they always put the image forward that it's for our benefit, to help us, to keep us more safe. But it's really about control and tightening down. But this real ID has been in the works for a long time. But no one actually put it in place until Donald Trump got in office. And here we are now with the real ID. And they're pushing this, and they're going to start out where it's not a requirement, but over time, it will get to you have to have this to pretty much do anything. To log onto the internet, to go to the doctor, to open a checking account, to open a bank account, to do pretty much anything that you need to do in your everyday lives will require a real ID. They start out small. They just stick the tip in. It'll only hurt for a little while. I'll just put the tip of it in. And next thing you know, they're all the way in, and you can't get off of it. And it's just there, it's done, and you are locked into the situation and can't get out of it. And that's what they do. They put it in a little bit at a time, and you don't really notice it too bad until it's all the way there, and then you realize, hey, this isn't good at all. This isn't good at all. Top Trump agency hypes importance of real ID. It's crazy, is what it is, and people still are cheering for all this. Republican warns real ID is being used to control Americans. Duh. Anything they can use, anything they have, will be turned around as a weapon to kill more people, control more people, to take more of your wealth. That's what the government does. The government grows like a cancer. And under Donald Trump, it's growing exponentially. I mean, it really, truly is. This real ID thing here, I got this muted because I got some music in this, and I get a copyright strike for that. But this Republican warns, and this Republican is Thomas Massie of Kentucky. He's the only one that actually says and goes against Donald Trump, because all the rest of Republicans are cowering in a corner somewhere, rolled up in a ball, afraid to say anything to Donald Trump, because they're afraid he will try to get them thrown out, like he said he wants to do to Thomas Massie in the next election. He'll go against them and try to put his own puppet in there, one that will be a yes man to Donald Trump. That's why he wants to get rid of Thomas Massie. But anyway, this article here, Republican warns real ID is being used to control Americans. And like I said, it's Thomas Massie. But anyways, guys are pushing this through. I talked a little bit about it here. And like I said, this is Thomas Massie. You can see the only one that's got, the one that stands up the most, seems like, and the one that Donald Trump hates the most, because he's not a yes man to Donald Trump's full agendas. And This article here by MSNBC, top stories. And you can find this anywhere. You can look it up. It's all over the internet. People don't want to know, though. Trump appears to be building an unprecedented spy machine that could track Americans. And there's no could to it. They always add the could, maybe. They will. They will. That's why they're putting this in place for, because they want to track Americans. They want to know everything that you do, when you do it, how you do it, where you do it at. Full, complete surveillance. That's what they're putting in place. They're putting in a police state. The thing we've wondered about for years, they're putting in now under Donald J. Trump. It's crazy. Could. It's stupid. Could. There's no could to it. They will do it. I don't know if it's got to be audio list or not. I'll look here and see. It's a court document show FBI is mishandling the digital surveillance. Don't even playing that, I don't think, but because that's getting long already. The video's already running 7 minutes right now. This article here, Donald Trump, this is from Newsweek. Donald Trump's reported database move sparks alarm. Dystopian. No shit, as the saying goes. That's what they're putting in place is Palantir. I'll get into that here in a minute. I ain't gonna read these. I'm not gonna read all these articles because, I mean, you can go read these if you want to. I'll link these in the description box below in the first pinned comment. But this is what's happening right here, guys. They're putting it in police state. Spy grid total police state. This other article here, and this is, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's see, guys. Where are we at here? Anyway, I'm trying to find out. I got so many articles here. Trouble finding where I'm at. I had an article here about Trump putting it in, working with Palantir. Don't know where it went to. I had it here somewhere. Anyway, Trump is working with Palantir to put in a citizen database that's going to have everything in it about the American people. It's one database with Palantir, and Palantir is a military contractor that works closely with the CIA, but they're going to put this database of all American citizens together. All your information in one database. Your medical, your financial, all of your data in one database run through Palantir. And now, U.S. Army recruits Palantir's executives to join the military. So I'll mute this here, my mic, and we'll play this video here.
Colorado's most valuable company keeps a pretty low profile locally. But Palantir is drawing concerns nationally from Democrats who are worried about Palantir's potential plan to work with the Trump administration on building a database on all Americans.
It better be more than Democrats worried about it. It better be stupid Republicans worried about it too. Democrats stupid, Republicans stupid. But when their political party is in office, they're complicit. When they're not, they go against the other party. And this is an issue for everybody, Republican and Democrats. But you hear here he talks about the Democrats sounding an alarm about this, and they should. But the Republicans should also, like Thomas Massey's been doing. But they don't, because they're afraid of Donald Trump, the Republicans are. And they're afraid of losing their cushiony job in Congress and the Senate, because they're afraid that Donald Trump will go against them in the next election and get them removed from office. So anything Donald Trump says, anything he wants, they say yes, sir, because they're afraid of losing. Even if they know it's wrong, they want to keep their little cushiony jobs, their benefits, and their power and their money under the table coming in. So they follow the line. So it should be Republicans and Democrats sounding that alarm about this, but it's not. Man, it's all because of political party line, bunch of bullshit is what it is. Anyway.
Comes as the U.S. Army is recruiting Palantir's executives to join the military. Here's Mark Salinger.
The letter from Washington is addressed to Palantir's CEO. The address in Denver leads to a nondescript office building with no signs marking the presence of Colorado's most valuable company. Yet the letter, signed by 4 Democratic senators and 6 Democratic representatives, raises more questions about the Denver-based technology company's work with the Trump administration. We write to demand information regarding reports that Palantir is amassing troves of data on Americans to create a government-wide searchable mega database containing the sensitive taxpayer data of American citizens, the letter reads. The lawmakers write that the Department of Defense recently awarded Palantir a $795 million contract to analyze data for the U.S. military. Now Capitol Hill wants to know exactly who else Palantir is working with inside the Trump administration.
I don't believe that Palantir is collecting any information. I believe it's purely building a database that's sort of combining the information.
While little information about Palantir's work is known, Vice President J.D. Vance tried to tone down concerns about the company on Theo Vaughn's podcast.
We've got to live in reality, and the government's already got this information. We just need to make sure they don't misuse it.
Palantir's chief technology officer was recently sworn in as an Army Reserve lieutenant colonel. The Army says it's an effort to find high-tech solutions to complex problems. But as Palantir grows, lots of questions remain about what exactly it's doing.
J.D. Vance was actually funded, bankrolled, and made by Peter Thiel, who actually owns Palantir. So that is a huge conflict of interest, don't you think? Anyway, the next, let's see. Peter Thiel is now the Bilderberg Group's most prominent member. You remember those globalists? You remember Alex Jones talking about fighting those globalists and how big a scum they were and how we wanted to defeat the globalists, and now he's all over it. Alex Jones is, and happy to be pushing Peter Thiel and Palantir and all these things that Trump is trying to put in place with Palantir and Peter Thiel. But right here, Peter Thiel is now the Bilderberg Group's most prominent member. That's the way you fight those globalists, isn't it, guys? That's the way you actually put an end to this deep state, is you give more power, more authority, more control over the government and our everyday lives. This right here is another one. Peter Thiel launched J.D. Vance's venture capital career, and he also launched his political career and got him to where he is right now. Yahoo Finance. Will Trump's biometric entry system be as controversial as his travel ban? And here, this is the Hill, and they're talking about the biometric ID entry system. And people will say, oh, that's just going to be those illegal immigrants. That's all it's going to be, nothing to worry about, those illegal immigrants. Trump's biometric entry exit tracking system will apply also to American citizens. The facial recognition technology that the system uses to identify travelers leaving the country will be used to identify American citizens too. Obviously, we knew it was coming. That was one of the reasons the border's left open. Leave the border open, flood the country with these people that weren't here anyway, then come out with ways to put a stop to it, and the people will cheer. But it puts in biometric IDs and real IDs. That's the excuse they're using. I said that in another video. That's what they do. Crisis, reaction, solution. Trump highlights partnership. Make sure my mic's on. Trump highlights partnership involving $500 billion in AI. And right here, Larry Ellison, one of the biggest pieces of shit in the country, in my opinion. These right here are all tech oligarchs. Larry Ellison, right here. We'll talk about Larry Ellison some more here in a minute. But they're putting in $500 billion, and this is Trump on his first full day in office in his second term. And that was his most important thing he's putting in place. And that's why he got put in office, because he got put in office by all these people here, people like Peter Thiel, Bilderberg Group, a little country in the Middle East that was backing Donald Trump, because he's a puppet. He is a puppet. And he agreed to put all this stuff in place, screw the American people, screw your freedom, screw your privacy, screw the Constitution. He wanted to be president again. So he made a deal with these people to get put in office again. They put him in office again, and he's putting in this massive police state spy grid infrastructure. It's obvious. If you have a freaking brain, it's obvious anyway. And we have Oracle's Larry Ellison. See, there's Larry Ellison. That's the same guy a minute ago that was over here standing with Donald Trump. Larry Ellison right here. Oracle's Larry Ellison says citizens will be on their best behavior thanks to constant surveillance. I mean, how in your face can it get, guys, when you don't, till you finally realize what is going on with all this. This is what's going on with all this. This is what's going on with all this. This is what's going on with all of this. So obvious. It really is. This video here has about Larry Ellison. Oracle's Larry Ellison sees AI supervision keeping citizens on best behavior. Let's mute the microphone. Let's play a little bit of this video.
Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison predicts AI surveillance will be part of our everyday lives in the future. During a recent Oracle Q&A, Ellison said AI will soon play a major role in monitoring society through a vast network of interconnected cameras, including security systems, police body cams, and vehicle dash cams.
Everyone would see it. Your body cams will be transmitting that. The police will be on their best behavior, because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
Ellison's vision is for AI to analyze data from this network of cameras in real time in an attempt to prevent crime while also tracking and influencing public behavior for a safer society. However, the idea raises serious privacy concerns. Critics argue it could lead to a surveillance state with constant monitoring infringing on personal privacy rights.
There's no could to it. It will. They always use these could, should, maybe. There's no could. There's no maybe to it. It will. That's why they're putting this in place, because it will. That's the plan. There's no could. There is it will. 100% guaranteed. That's why they're putting this in place for. God, these news reporters, I'll tell you what, get on my friggin' nerves while they try to do this stuff and try to get around it one way or another without saying what it actually is. Anyway, and here's another thing, guys. Executive order from Donald J. Trump, strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent civilians. They always try to make it look good, but this right here is the word right here, unleashing. It's exactly what this is. And what this executive order does, I made a full video about this a while back, is give police more power. More power, more authority, and more ability to stomp on your rights, to stamp on the boot on your neck, and you can't do anything about it. In court, you can't. It's to give police more power, and that's part of the big, beautiful bill, too. A lot of that is for more police, more power, more militarization of police, and this right here is unleashing, meaning that when you go through all this, that they can pretty much do whatever they want to do without, and they have full immunity from any prosecution or anything like that. They can trample on your rights, they can abuse, whatever, and they're protected under this blanket immunity that Donald Trump's putting in place for the police state. This is all steps, guys, all one step after another for the police state. So I got all these articles here. I talked about all these. So I talked about that one too. Yeah, I talked about all these articles. I'm going to make sure. Anyway, mic is still on. I made a mistake yesterday. I made a whole video yesterday. That's why I'm checking so much. I made a video yesterday, and I had my mic on mute for half the video, so I was doing this on the video, carrying a full conversation, and the mic was turned off, so no one could hear what I was saying, so I just scrapped the video and forgot about it yesterday. I didn't post a video here. But this is important, and so many people are too stupid to realize and see what's going on. It is right in your face, rubbing it right in your face, obvious. They're putting in massive spy grid, control grid, police state infrastructure. And the big, beautiful bill that you'll pay for, that I'll pay for through inflation, because all the money printing will be used to fund all this. The data centers, the AI, more police powers, more police overreach. It's what the bill was, most of it was about, was putting in this police state and paying for it. You will pay for your own enslavement. Anyways, video is 21 minutes right now, so I'm going to end this and get this uploaded. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I don't care. It is what it is. I'm here to tell the truth. If it hurts your feelings because you think Donald Trump is some kind of a God down from heaven that's been put here to save us all, then you're a friggin' idiot. None of these people, Democrats, sorry as shit, ain't worth nothing ain't not worth taking out and leaving in the woods. Republicans, same way. Left, right political paradigm, it's all bullshit. It's all WWE, wrestling, fake bullshit to control you. Now, there's something else I've been seeing, that I'm seeing right now. We had the Democrats in office under Joe Biden, and it was so ridiculous that everyone put Donald Trump in and had high hopes. But they know that Donald Trump, what he's doing, his popularity is going down. So we have now Elon Musk come out with a third party, which will keep you occupied until the next election. Democrat, Republican, both disgusting. So we put in a third party to keep you occupied for a few more years here, hoping that the next election we will put in a new party. We will elect someone from the third party that will save us. It's all manipulation. It's all to keep us, the population, docile while they put in this police state, while they put in the Great Reset, Agenda 2030 Great Reset. This is a huge step toward that. Anyways, I'm out.